Ripe as the berries in June, red the rose, skin pale as the light of the moon, gently as she goes.
Welcome to Snark Theater, where bad fiction gets blasted. When we last left our quote-unquote heroes, Anita had been charged with releasing Damian from the coffin he'd been left in for 6 months, while she was off pretending not to be in love with Jean-Claude and Richard. Chapter 56 opens with Anita and the gang gathered around Damian's coffin with various weapons ready for all hell to break loose, while Zane opens the coffin. If you're wondering why Anita isn't doing it, she has this to say. Who was I willing to risk? The answer, of course, was no one, but we finally decided who got to be the first victim. I was pretty useless for the discussion because I would have to put myself first in line. Never ask of anyone what you're not willing to do yourself. But Asher pointed out that I couldn't be first feed if I had any chance of being Damian's master. In other words, blah 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 reasons, blah blah blah, Anita's a chicken.
You're not good, you're just a chicken. Chip, 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 chip.
As you can predict, they pop open the coffin and Damian immediately takes a bite out of poor Zane while everybody scrambles to get him off without shooting them both. Meryl and Asher grab him and then Anita jumps forward, which negates her excuse about not being able to be the master if she puts herself in the line of fire. Good job, honey. Damian bites her chest and somehow her blood breaks him out of his rampage. She performs the proper binding ritual, stereotypically sealed with a bloody kiss, and that ends chapter 56. Once again, 2 pages of wasted tree. We open chapter 54 with some truly stupid storytelling. Anita is now in a bathtub, fully clothed, cuddling Damian. She informs us that he had gone into convulsions from the kiss, no doubt from all the STDs I'm sure she has swimming around in her mouth. And they had to take him to her place. Because, you know, it's actually better than showing us what happened. Apparently, Damian keeps going vampire crazy if Anita isn't touching him, vomiting blood, scratching himself, the whole 9 yards. Asher exposits that this could be because Anita has formed a new bond with him, a necromancer master for a vampire servant. This little adventure has worn her out, so she needs to keep warm in the tub, but now she's overheated, so Asher suggests taking off some clothes, which is just an excuse for Asher to get in the tub and make eyes at her. He asks that if he could get into the tub without her looking, and she admits that she would look. It sets him up in his usual, oh God, why am I so hideous even though I'm really not, jag. Instead of Asher, which would have at least been interesting, Nathaniel jumps into the tub to help Anita take her clothes off while Damian clings to her like a literal wet blanket. The heat is too intense and she throws up. Asher and Nathaniel cool her off with wet towels, but it's too late and she passes out, ending chapter 57. Wow, there's just so much drama here.
Okay. Sarcasm over.
Anita wakes up naked next to the tub covered in cold, wet towels. Nathaniel fed Damian his blood while she passed out, and he managed to keep it down, which, again, probably would have been interesting, but I guess we didn't need to see it. We then find out that Damian is perfectly fine with Anita being his master. I mean, it's not like she caused you to be trapped in a coffin for 6 months with no food. Oh wait, she did, which makes Damian a one-dimensional, incredibly stupid character. To stick a pin in this truly idiotic chapter, Anita goes off on a tangent about herself that proves what a badly written character she is. Truthfully, I wasn't 100% sure I was a beneficial ruler. I mean, I was easy to get along with as long as everything went my way, but crossed me and I wasn't easy. I was close to being the hardest person I knew, and I know some hard people. Anita just admitted to being an unfair bitch, and claims she's trying to be softer, but I don't think we've seen any evidence of that in the 566 pages we've already been through with this stupid novel. She still yells at people who don't deserve it. She still forces everyone into a one-way monogamous relationship with her. She still threatens the innocent. She still selfishly wants Richard. And she still thinks she's always got the right solution to every problem. These would all be great character flaws if Anita actively tried to reverse them, but she doesn't. She's just like, oh darn, I guess I'm a cunt, but that's okay because everyone loves me. The only way she could give less of a fuck is if she were a honey badger.
Honey badger don't care. Honey badger don't give a shit. It just takes what it wants.
In chapter 59, Asher takes Damian to the basement to get settled in as dawn approaches. We then get more off-screen information like Zane and Meryl being okay. I mean, it's not like they're major characters who deserve development or anything. We're too busy caring about Anita's heat exhaustion. That's much worse than having a chunk of your throat ripped out by a starving vampire. They take a nap, and about 2 hours later, Anita is woken up by a phone call from Ulysses, Narcissus' bodyguard. Who is Narcissus again? Oh, right, the cross-dresser who the book is named after. Ulysses says Narcissus wants to meet with Anita because he has news about the missing lycanthropes. For some reason, he insists on giving her the information in person, which is yet another lazy excuse of a way to get Anita into another debacle. Ulysses also claims that the were-lion's Rex is still alive, but may not be that way for long, and that finally gives Anita enough incentive to get her ass out of bed. She then gears up and grabs the boy band to head to the party, which I imagine looks a lot like this. In Chapter 60, Anita and the boys are welcomed in at 8 a.m. by Ulysses, who seems incredibly nervous. Anita wonders why he's nervous. Gee, I wonder why the nervous were-hyena welcoming you into an S&M club could mean. They walk into a room with a bunch of big, muscular guys, and Ulysses begs Anita and her boys to leave the guns outside the club, or Narcissus will hurt Ajax and the other men's lovers. He cries and clings to her and everything. It's actually sort of upsetting and pathetic at the same time, until suddenly someone shoots one of Anita's bodyguards from a balcony with a rifle. Seriously, all those were-whatevers in one room, and they couldn't see, hear, or smell a sniper rifle in the same room?
Fail. Fail. Impressively fail.
Anita and Babidi take out a couple of the men instead of agreeing to drop their guns in the were-hyena's attack. They all start shooting each other, and the gang is forced outside. They climb into the jeep as dozens of were-hyenas attack and barely manage to escape with a few bodies hanging off the car. One of them, named Bacchus, turns out not to be dead, so he agrees to answer questions from them provided that they let him live, thus ending Chapter 60. Well, folks, I can't believe it, but we've reached the last 5 chapters in the epilogue for this horrific monstrosity of a novel. Give yourselves a pat on the back. You deserve it. But we're not out of this thing yet, so strap on your bulletproof vests and ready a bucket of brain bleach, because next time we're diving into the finale of Snark Theater.
I said it's getting hot in here, so take off all your clothes.
I am getting so hot, I will take my clothes off.
Oh, it's getting hot in here, so take off all your clothes.
I am getting so hot, I will take my clothes off.
I was close to being the hardest person I knew, and I knew some hard people. Well, she does that too, actually.